My beloved listeners, there is a hidden code woven into the fabric of the universe, a code that governs not only the stars and seas, but also the flow of money, abundance, and every good thing in your life. This code is invisible to the fearful, but clear as daylight to the faithful. And when you learn to speak its language, money begins to listen. Money, you see, is not merely coins or currency. It is a spiritual current. It flows. It is divine substance taking form according to your consciousness. The great mistake of humankind has been to worship the form while ignoring the source. The world chases the shadow, the physical dollar, forgetting that the shadow is cast by a greater light. That light is your divine mind. When you align your thoughts with the divine source of supply, the shadow too must appear. You were not born to chase money, you were born to magnetize it. The law of the universe is correspondence, as within, so without. The outer world merely reflects the inner vibration. If within you lies fear, the outer world mirrors scarcity. If within you lies peace, gratitude, and certainty, the outer world reflects overflowing abundance. The money in your life is nothing more than a report card of your inner vibration. The code of money does not speak in figures, it speaks in faith. It does not respond to desperation, it responds to declaration. Every word you speak, every thought you think, every emotion you feel, writes the script of your financial destiny. Say, I am always broke, and you have just written a decree. Say, I am a channel of unlimited wealth, and the universe rushes to fulfill it. The tongue is the pen of creation. Speak richly, and you shall live richly. Now, many pray for prosperity but cancel their prayers with fear. They ask in faith but doubt in the next breath. Faith is the password that unlocks the vault of heaven. When you speak as though your good is already yours, not tomorrow, not someday, but now, you activate the code. You open the invisible bank account of the universe, and supply begins to pour forth in mysterious, perfect ways. Money has ears, my friends. It hears the music of your vibration. It listens to the symphony of your thoughts. And when you speak with joy, gratitude, and certainty, it dances toward you. Gratitude is the frequency that keeps the channel open. When you thank God for what you have, you are telling the universe, I recognize my abundance. And recognition multiplies manifestation. The spiritual code of money is generosity. To give is to affirm faith in infinite supply. The fearful clutch and lose. The faithful give and receive. The law of circulation is absolute. That which you release in love returns multiplied. Do not give with the hope of reward. Give with the knowing that your good can never be lost. Every dollar you give with joy is a seed that returns to you as a forest of prosperity. Your subconscious mind is your silent banker. It holds every belief you've ever spoken about money. If your inner script says money is evil, then even if you win a fortune, it will slip through your fingers. But if your subconscious accepts the truth that money is divine energy for good, then you become a master of supply. Speak new words, write new beliefs, declare, money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I am worthy of all that is good. The subconscious always obeys. When you walk in divine right action, doors open where there were none. Guidance is your compass, follow it. The code never works through fear or struggle. It works through inspiration. The idea that lights your heart, the gentle nudge to take a step, these are divine whispers guiding you to your supply. The universe never withholds, it directs. Your wealth is not lost, it's waiting where your intuition leads. And remember this truth, there is no lack. Lack is the grand illusion of the mortal mind. The divine mind knows only abundance. Look at the sky, can you count the stars? Look at the sea, can you measure its waves? The same intelligence that created the infinite ocean created infinite supply for you. When you stop believing in lack, lack stops existing in your experience. And finally, let us understand your wealth is not merely for you. It is the tool by which you bless the world. When you prosper with purpose, your prosperity expands. The universe entrusts abundance to those who use it as a force of good. Your wealth can heal, uplift, inspire, and build. When you become a vessel of giving, you become a magnet of receiving. So I say to you now, speak prosperity, declare wealth, bless your money, bless your work, bless your life. For every blessing you give returns to you magnified. You are not here to live in fear or struggle. You are here to demonstrate the power of divine abundance in motion. Say it with me now. Money loves me. I am a channel of divine supply. I live in the rhythm of abundance, and all that is mine by divine right flows to me now. And so it is. Money is a divine idea, not a human invention. It is not something mankind created in greed or necessity. It is the outward symbol of an inner law, the law of circulation, the law of giving and receiving. When the first coin was ever forged, it was not the beginning of money, but merely the physical expression of an eternal spiritual truth. That energy must move, and that flow is the language of creation. Money, in its essence, is God in action. It is life expressing itself as abundance, movement, and exchange. It is the proof that there is enough for all, if only we learn to align ourselves with the invisible current from which all wealth springs. For too long, humanity has misunderstood money. We have reduced it to numbers, competition, struggle, and survival. We have been taught that to have more, someone else must have less. But the truth is, the divine economy knows no loss, no depletion, no unfair trade. Money is an energy that obeys spiritual law. It flows toward order, clarity, gratitude, and faith. It withdraws from fear, confusion, and resentment. The moment you stop seeing money as mere paper or metal and start recognizing it as spiritual power in motion, you step into the higher understanding that Florence Scovel Shinn and the great teachers of truth spoke of. Money is not outside of God's realm. It is one of the ways God moves through the material world to fulfill divine purpose. You see, when we believe that money is man-made, we fall into the trap of chasing it. We begin to think we must struggle for it, compete for it, manipulate for it. But when we understand that money is divine, we stop chasing and begin aligning. We start to realize that the source of supply is not in banks, employers, or markets. It is within us, flowing through us, manifesting as ideas, opportunities, and inspired action. The divine mind is forever creating, forever giving, and money is one of the many instruments through which that generosity expresses itself. Look around you. The abundance of the universe is endless. The air you breathe, the sunlight that pours freely, the trees that grow without asking for permission, all these are signs that the source never withholds. Money follows the same spiritual pattern. It is infinite in essence and only appears limited when our consciousness of it is small. The more we expand our awareness of divine abundance, the more channels of supply open to us. The one who walks in the awareness of God's prosperity never fears the closing of one door, for they know that the universe is an infinite corridor. When you align with the divine idea of money, you no longer think of it as something you must possess, but something you must circulate. You become a steward of divine flow, allowing it to move through you freely. You give not out of fear of loss, but out of understanding that giving keeps the current alive. You receive not with guilt, but with gratitude, knowing that receiving is also part of the law. In the divine order of things, giving and receiving are the same act, the inhale and exhale of the same breath of abundance. Money, in its highest vibration, is love made visible. It is the physical manifestation of appreciation, trust, and harmony. When you pay someone, you are saying, I value your work, your time, your energy. When someone pays you, they are saying, I recognize your worth and I bless your service. This sacred exchange, when done with integrity and joy, multiplies prosperity on both ends. But when we attach fear, greed, or guilt to it, we break the rhythm. We step out of harmony with the divine flow, and the energy stagnates. This is why some people earn much yet never feel abundant. Their consciousness is still rooted in lack. in the false belief that money is finite and must be hoarded to feel safe. Money was never meant to be hoarded. It was designed to move, to circulate, to give life. Just as water grows foul when it stands still, so does money lose its blessing when it is withheld out of fear. The divine current that animates the universe is always seeking movement. When you align with this principle, you realize that prosperity is not measured by how much you hold, but by how freely you allow it to flow through your life. Every act of generosity, every grateful transaction, every inspired investment becomes a spiritual act, an affirmation that you trust the infinite source behind the form. If you truly want to live in abundance, you must stop identifying money as separate from spirit. The moment you label it as worldly, evil, or material, you cut yourself off from the divine channel of supply. The spirit of truth knows no division between spiritual and material. Both are expressions of the same life force. The flower and the fragrance are not separate. They are one in essence. The invisible and the visible are merely two sides of the same coin of creation. To say that money is unspiritual is to deny that God can express through form. And God expresses through asterisk, all asterisk form through art, through service, through beauty, and yes, through wealth. Money is one of the most misunderstood forms of divine energy because it exposes our inner beliefs about worthiness, faith, and fear. Those who see it as evil often fear its power. Those who worship it have forgotten its source. But those who understand it as divine energy walk in balance. They honor it, respect it, and use it wisely. They do not chase it, they magnetize it. They do not hoard it, they circulate it. They do not fear its absence, they trust its return. This is the consciousness of the true spiritual millionaire, one who knows that their wealth is not confined to their bank account, but flows from the infinite treasury of divine mind. Think of money as light. When you shine it into the world, it illuminates more than it takes away. The more you allow it to flow through acts of kindness, creativity, and service, the more radiant your life becomes. You begin to see that the real power is not in money itself, but in the consciousness behind it. The person who blesses every coin, who speaks to their money with gratitude and love, is the person who will never lack. The universe responds to the vibration of blessing. The one who blesses multiplies. The one who curses diminishes. Money is not a master, it is a servant. It obeys the mind that commands it with faith and clarity. When you say, money comes to me easily and joyfully, the universe begins to rearrange itself to fulfill that vibration. But when you say, money is hard to get, the same law obeys you and hardens the path of supply. The law does not judge, it simply mirrors your belief. That is why you must become conscious of every word you speak about money, every feeling you associate with it. You are writing your financial destiny with every thought. When you understand money as divine idea, your relationship with it transforms. It is no longer a struggle, it becomes a dance. You stop hustling for it and begin harmonizing with it. You start to see that wealth is not something you achieve, it is something you allow. The divine mind has already supplied all that you could ever need. The key is not to chase the form, but to awaken to the source. The source is infinite, loving, and unchanging. The more you attune to it, the more easily money flows into your life naturally, joyfully, without fear. Money was never meant to enslave you. It was meant to serve you as a tool of creation. It is the divine idea of circulation expressing itself in your world. And when you understand that, you realize the truth. You are not separate from abundance. You are abundance expressing itself as you. The more you embody that truth, the more you live as the open channel through which divine prosperity flows without end. The universe responds to your inner vibration, not your desperation. It does not hear your words, it hears the energy beneath them. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if your heart is filled with fear, if your emotions are tied to lack, then the vibration you send out is one of scarcity, and scarcity is what returns. The law of attraction is not moved by begging or wishing. It is moved by alignment. The universe mirrors what you are asterisk, not what you want. When your inner vibration hums with certainty, joy, and faith, life arranges itself to meet you there. Desperation is the energy of disconnection. It says, I am separate from my good. I must chase it, grasp it, hold it before it escapes. But vibration says, I am one with my good. I am the magnet and the source. The desperate person begs, the aligned person commands. The desperate person prays with doubt in their heart. The aligned person speaks with knowing in their spirit. When your inner state and your spoken word become one, when your emotions, your faith, and your words all move in the same divine rhythm, then manifestation becomes inevitable. You have felt it before, even in small ways. When you wake up happy for no reason, when you trust that life will take care of you, small miracles begin to unfold, unexpected calls, opportunities, synchronicities. That is vibration at work. It is the universe responding to your signal. The higher your vibration, the smoother your path. The lower your vibration, the heavier the journey feels. The universe is not punishing or rewarding. It is reflecting. It is a mirror, and the reflection cannot change until you do. Many people live in the illusion that they must work harder, push more, or struggle longer to make things happen. But the truth is, no amount of outer effort can override an inner vibration of lack. You can build empires, but if your heart believes in scarcity, they will crumble. You can chase 100 opportunities, but if your energy screams not enough, every door will seem closed. It is not your hustle that creates, it is your harmony. The real work is not done with your hands, it is done with your energy, your thoughts, and your emotions. You must understand that the universe communicates through feeling. Feeling is the language of creation. What you feel consistently is what you magnetize. If you feel fear about money, money retreats. If you feel joy, gratitude, and certainty about money, it finds its way to you in the most effortless ways. People often say, I keep affirming wealth, but nothing changes. The question is not what you say, but what you feel when you say it. If the vibration of lack still lingers, your words are just sounds, hollow echoes that never reach the divine frequency of manifestation. Imagine a tuning fork. When it vibrates at a certain frequency, it attracts and amplifies that same tone in the world around it. Your energy works the same way. When you tune yourself to the frequency of abundance through gratitude, peace, and joy, the world must echo it. But if you vibrate fear, worry, or doubt, you will find more situations that match those vibrations. This is why two people can live under the same circumstances. One sees opportunity everywhere, while the other sees only limitation. Their outer world differs because their inner world sings a different tune. Desperation comes from forgetting who you are, forgetting that you are the source of the vibration, not a victim of circumstances. You are not here to chase energy, you are here to generate it. You are not meant to run after blessings. You are meant to become so aligned with divine flow that blessings run after you. The universe is not withholding, it is responding. If you feel empty, it mirrors emptiness. If you feel full, it mirrors abundance. The shift begins within you. The moment you choose faith over fear, peace over panic, gratitude over grasping, everything outside begins to rearrange itself to match that choice. Money, especially, is sensitive to vibration. It responds instantly to the frequency of your emotions. Desperation repels it because desperation vibrates at the energy of lack. Faith attracts it because faith vibrates at the energy of sufficiency. The one who worries constantly about bills radiates resistance. The one who blesses their bills, who gives thanks for every dollar in circulation, radiates magnetic power. The universe does not withhold wealth. It simply echoes your readiness to receive it. Think of a person standing before two doors, one marked fear, the other faith. When they choose fear, the door opens to experiences of struggle, delay, and scarcity. When they choose faith, the door opens to flow, synchronicity, and supply. Each moment you are choosing through your vibration which door to walk through. You cannot hold fear in your heart and expect faith, build results. You cannot emit worry and attract peace. The universe reads your energy, not your excuses. Many people pray with anxiety, hoping their fear will move the heavens, but fear has no creative power. It only repeats what it dreads. True prayer is alignment. It is the quiet certainty that says, I know my supply is already here. You may not see it yet in form, but your vibration declares that it exists in substance. You speak not to ask, but to affirm. You speak not to beg, but to become. That is the vibration of manifestation, calm, confident, unwavering. The universe moves in response to feeling, and the feeling of abundance is gratitude. Gratitude tells the universe, I already have what I desire. When you give thanks for what you have now, no matter how little, you tune your vibration to the energy of having, not lacking. The universe then multiplies that energy. Gratitude is the bridge between desire and manifestation. It is the frequency that turns potential into form. When you live in gratitude, you live in harmony with divine law, and the law never fails. So often, we think alignment means pretending to be happy or ignoring negative emotions, but that is not the truth. Alignment means feeling what you feel, acknowledging it, and then choosing a higher vibration on purpose. It means saying, yes, I see lack, but I know abundance exists beneath it. It means training your mind to see possibility where others see impossibility. The shift does not happen overnight, but every moment you choose faith, your vibration rises. And as your vibration rises, your life begins to rearrange itself in miraculous ways. You have been conditioned to believe that desperation brings results, that worry shows responsibility, that fear keeps you safe. But the spiritual law reverses that logic. Worry blocks, fear constricts, desperation delays. The moment you relax into trust, life flows again. The moment you say, I release control and I trust divine timing, you open the channel for blessings to move freely. Alignment feels light, peaceful, and effortless. Desperation feels heavy, frantic, and forced. One attracts, the other repels. So learn to live in vibrational truth. Every time fear whispers, you'll never have enough, answer with, I am one with infinite supply. Every time doubt says, it's too late, answer with, divine timing is always perfect. Every time you feel tension in your heart, breathe and remind yourself that everything you desire already exists in spirit, waiting for your alignment to call it forth. The universe listens to your vibration like a musician listens to a note. Make your life a song of faith, gratitude, and joy, and you will see how quickly everything begins to harmonize. When you stop chasing and start resonating, when you stop begging and start believing, money, opportunities, and miracles will begin to find their way to you, not because you demanded them, but because you finally became a match for them. Words are the currency of spirit. Speak richly, and you'll live richly. Every word you utter carries the weight of creation. Each syllable vibrates through the invisible substance of the universe, commanding energy to take form. What you say is not small, casual, or meaningless. The word is law, and the law does not sleep. Every declaration you make, whether conscious or careless, sends out a signal that shapes your reality. You may think you are simply describing your life, but in truth you are prescribing it. When you say, I never have enough, the universe echoes, so be it. When you say, I am always blessed and provided for, the same law answers, so it is. The universe has no sense of humor. It takes your word as your will. Therefore, speak not from fear, but from faith. Speak not from habit, but from awareness. Speak as one who knows that every word is a seed, and every seed must bear fruit. Your words are not powerless expressions. They are instruments of divine authority. In the beginning was the Word, that eternal vibration through which all creation came into being. The same creative force that spoke galaxies into existence moves through your own tongue. You are not merely repeating sounds, you are invoking spiritual law. The vibration of your words stirs the substance of the universe, calling it to gather around the idea you express. When you speak love, you magnetize harmony. When you speak fear, you magnetize conflict. When you speak wealth, you awaken opportunities that have been sleeping in the unseen. Words are the tools of manifestation, and like all tools, they can build or destroy. You are either speaking your freedom or your bondage with every breath you take. People often speak carelessly about their lives, never realizing that their tongue is a builder and a destroyer. They say, "I'm broke, life is hard, money never stays with me," and then wonder why those patterns repeat. The law of vibration is perfect. It gives back to you what you consistently declare. You can't affirm lack and live in plenty. You can't speak defeat and expect victory. The universe always says yes to your dominant word. The words you speak become the stories you live, and the stories you live become the limits of your experience. Change the story, and the universe must rewrite the outcome. It is not enough to speak the words once and hope they will undo years of negative declarations. Every day, you must reprogram the atmosphere of your life with truth. Speak it when you rise. Speak it when you feel afraid. Speak it when circumstances seem against you. Say, "I am prosperous, I am guided, I am favored by divine law." The repetition of truth reshapes the fabric of reality. The sound of your conviction carves new channels of manifestation in the unseen. Words are energy, and energy accumulates. The more you speak prosperity, the more that vibration gathers strength until it materializes as form. Your words are not only heard by others, they are heard by your own subconscious mind. The subconscious takes every word as instruction. It does not reason, question, or doubt. If you say, "I can't afford it," the subconscious begins to create conditions to prove you right. But when you say, "I am open to receive the means," it goes to work arranging ideas, people, and opportunities to support that declaration. You are the commander, and your subconscious is the loyal servant. It will obey the last order you give it, so give it orders of faith, not fear. Speak life to your finances, health, and dreams. The moment your words change, your energy changes, and your outer world cannot help but follow. Speak richly, that is, speak with the awareness of abundance. Even when appearances contradict your words, hold firm to your declarations of prosperity. Words of truth are stronger than appearances because they operate in a higher realm. The moment you affirm wealth, the invisible begins to shift, unseen forces begin to move, and divine order begins to align itself with your spoken intention. You may not see results at once, but the law is already at work. A seed planted in the ground does not sprout in an hour, yet it is alive and growing beneath the soil. So it is with your words. Speak them, believe them, and give them time to take root. Words also carry the vibration of your emotion. Empty affirmations have little power because they lack feeling. But when your words are infused with joy, faith, and gratitude, they become magnetic. The emotion is the electricity that lights up the words, charging them with creative energy. When you declare, "I am divinely supplied," and your heart burns with gratitude and certainty, that vibration goes forth like a living force, rearranging circumstances in your favor. Speak from the soul, not the surface. The universe listens to the feeling behind the word more than the sound itself. The reason so many people fail to manifest their good is that they use their words to describe their circumstances instead of directing them. They say, "I'm struggling," instead of "I'm overcoming." They say, "I'm unlucky," instead of "I'm divinely guided." The creative power of the word is meant for command, not complaint. The universe does not need a report of what is wrong. It needs an order of what must be right. Each time you complain, you are affirming the problem. Each time you bless, you are affirming the solution. The words "I can't," "I don't," "I'm not" are locks. The words "I can," "I have," "I am" are keys. You are either locking or unlocking your good with every sentence. When you speak with conviction, heaven and earth move to fulfill your decree. Your word becomes a living vibration that goes before you, preparing the way. If you bless your finances, opportunities open. If you bless your work, ideas flow. If you bless your relationships, love increases. Blessing is a high frequency that multiplies all it touches. Even when you see lack, bless it as temporary appearance and declare the abundance that lies behind it. Your blessing is not denial of reality. It is an affirmation of higher truth. When you speak this way, the universe reshapes itself to match your new vibration. You are the author of your world, and your pen is your tongue. Each day you are writing the next chapter of your life with your words. Speak deliberately. Speak consciously. Speak as one who knows the power they hold. If you desire to live richly, begin by speaking richly. Use words of gratitude, beauty, and strength. Declare often, I am the channel of divine abundance. Every word I speak prospers me. Every declaration I make blesses my life. Let your words be gold, not dust. Let them build, not break. Let them open doors, not close them. When your speech becomes one with the truth of your being, money, success, and joy will follow as naturally as a shadow follows light. For the law cannot be broken. As you speak, so shall it be. Your words are your decree, your vibration, your wealth. When you learn to master them, you master the rhythm of creation itself. Speak with the power of one who knows the universe is listening because it is. Speak richly, and you will live richly. Faith is the secret password that unlocks the invisible bank of the universe. It is not blind hope or wishful thinking. It is deep, unwavering knowing. Faith is that sacred force that moves the unseen into the seen, that transforms thought into form and word into reality. It is the magnetic key that draws divine supply from the invisible storehouse of abundance into your tangible world. Without faith, words are empty sounds. Without faith, prayer is mere repetition. But when faith enters, the invisible realm opens, and everything you have spoken in truth begins to rush toward you with unstoppable momentum. Faith is not something you try to have. It is something you allow. It already lives within you, placed there by divine intelligence, waiting to be awakened. Faith is your natural state before fear was ever learned. As a child, you believed without question. You trusted that what you asked for would come, that the world was safe, and that life provided. That was faith in its purest form, effortless, unquestioning, radiant. Over time, fear and doubt crept in, clouding that knowing. But faith never left you. It only sleeps beneath the surface, waiting for your recognition. The moment you choose to trust again, the moment you say, even though I cannot see it, I know it is done. Faith stirs and the divine machinery of manifestation begins to move. Faith is spiritual sight. It sees beyond appearances, beyond limitation, beyond reason. The person of faith looks at an empty bank account and says, my supply is not here yet, but it exists. They look at a closed door and declare, another is already opening. Faith speaks the language of certainty in a world obsessed with evidence. It walks in darkness as if in daylight because it knows that the unseen world is more real than the visible one. The invisible realm is the storehouse of all that ever will be. Ideas, opportunities, wealth, health, joy, and faith is the password that grants you access to it. When you speak from faith, your word becomes command. The universe rushes to obey, for faith is the vibration of divine authority. Many people pray, but few pray with faith. They ask, but their hearts tremble with doubt. They say, please let it happen. Instead of thank you, it is already done. The difference is vast. The first prayer comes from fear. The second comes from knowing. Faith does not beg, it decrees. Faith does not wait, it acts as if it already possesses. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. The moment you speak with true conviction, your words leave the realm of wish and enter the realm of creation. Faith is the invisible evidence that guarantees visible results. The invisible bank of the universe is not a metaphor, it is a spiritual law. Everything you desire already exists there in energy form. waiting for the right vibration to draw it into physical reality. When you believe without doubt, you activate that vibration. Your faith acts as the withdrawal slip that releases divine supply. The amount you receive depends not on the universe's willingness, for it is infinite, but on the strength of your belief. The law is precise: according to your faith be it unto you. If you believe little, you receive little. If you believe greatly, you receive without limit. The universe cannot withhold what you truly expect with unwavering certainty. Faith and fear cannot live in the same heart. One must dissolve for the other to reign. Fear looks at appearances and trembles. Faith looks at appearances and smiles. Fear says, "What if it doesn't happen?" Faith says, "It's already happening." Fear delays your blessing because it sends out mixed vibrations, one of desire and one of doubt. The universe responds to the dominant one. If fear outweighs faith, manifestation halts. That is why cultivating faith is your greatest spiritual discipline. You must train your mind to believe in the unseen more than the visible. Every time you choose to trust instead of worry, to affirm instead of complain, you strengthen the muscle of faith. Faith is not passive. It is an active, living force. It moves your words into the creative dimension. It inspires divine right action. When you truly believe that your good is on its way, you begin to act differently, with confidence, with expectation, with peace. You no longer rush or grasp. You move with grace. That vibration of calm assurance is magnetic. The universe recognizes it as the signal of trust and responds with matching energy. Doors open effortlessly. Ideas flow. The right people appear. It seems miraculous, but it is law. Faith aligns you with divine timing, divine order, divine supply. It turns chaos into coordination. True faith is not shaken by delay. Delay is not denial. It is divine preparation. The universe never says no. It says not yet. Something greater is coming. Faith knows that the seed planted must grow roots before it sprouts. When nothing seems to be happening, faith whispers, "It's happening where I cannot see." Those who give up when results do not appear immediately are those who uproot their seed before it bears fruit. Faith holds firm even when the soil looks barren. It continues to water the vision with praise and gratitude. And then, without warning, life blossoms in ways you could never have planned. Faith also requires surrender, the quiet release of control. Many try to force their manifestations to dictate the how and when, but the divine law works in perfection beyond human logic. Your task is to believe and act when guided. The universe handles the details. When you try to control everything, you block the flow. But when you say, "I trust divine order, I know all is unfolding perfectly," you open the channel wide. Faith is trust in action. It is the relaxation of the soul that says, "I do not need to make it happen. I need only align with it." When you walk in faith, you walk in power. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer fear lack. You live in assurance of supply. Faith gives you a new posture, calm, certain, radiant. People will wonder why you are at peace when others panic. It is because you know the secret, that unseen hands are working for your good. That the invisible bank of the universe has your account marked paid in full. That every desire born of divine intention already has a corresponding fulfillment in the spiritual realm, waiting for your belief to call it forth. Faith does not mean you will never face storms. It means you will never sink in them. It is the anchor that holds you steady in uncertainty, the light that pierces the fog of doubt. Faith speaks before the miracle, laughs before the victory, gives thanks before the answer appears. It does not waver at appearances because it knows appearances are temporary, but truth is eternal. You may not see your abundance yet, but faith knows it is here now, clothed in unseen substance. And when you stand firm in that knowing, the invisible must become visible, for that is the law of life. So hold fast to faith. Guard it as your greatest treasure. Every time fear whispers, answer with truth. Every time doubt rises, affirm your knowing. Keep your vibration tuned to certainty and watch how quickly the universe responds. The invisible bank is never empty. It waits for your command. And your command is faith, faith spoken, faith felt, faith lived. The moment you say, I know it is done, the law moves and the doors of abundance swing open wide. Every word you speak is a command to the universe, an instruction to the unseen forces that shape your reality. Words are not casual, they are creative instruments, carrying vibrations that form the very fabric of your experience. When you speak, you are not merely describing your world, you are creating it. The spoken word is your magic wand, your divine tool of manifestation. Each syllable vibrates through the ethers, gathering energy, forming patterns, and returning to you multiplied in the physical form of your dominant thoughts. The universe listens to the tone behind your words, to the emotion that fuels them. When you speak with conviction, with faith, your words become living seeds that cannot fail to bear fruit. But here lies the hidden mystery: most people speak without awareness. They speak against their own good. They say, I can't afford that. And the universe faithfully responds as you wish. They declare, money never stays with me. And the law agrees, ensuring that it flows away. Words never return void, they return fulfilled. The law does not discriminate between positive and negative commands, it only obeys the energy behind them. You can use the same power that creates worlds to bless or to block yourself. Every complaint, every fearful statement, every word of lack is a decree, a spell cast upon your own life. You cannot speak failure and expect success. You cannot declare lack and expect abundance. The tongue, though small, carries the creative power of the infinite. When you understand this sacred principle, you begin to treat your words as treasures. You choose them carefully, consciously, reverently. You speak not of how things are, but how you desire them to be. You speak of prosperity, joy, peace, and ease even when the evidence says otherwise. You call forth what you want, not what you fear. This is the divine art of creation, to speak what is not yet seen as though it already exists. You are not lying when you affirm your abundance while lacking it. You are speaking truth from a higher dimension where it already exists. Every affirmation is a bridge from the unseen to the seen. When you speak life into your finances, your relationships, your dreams, you set universal forces into motion that rearrange reality itself to match your vibration. The spoken word is vibration made audible, and vibration is the language of the universe. Everything responds to frequency, thought, matter, energy, even money. When you say, I am prosperous, you are not begging the universe for wealth. You are aligning your vibration with the frequency of prosperity itself. The I am is the divine name, the eternal presence of creation within you. Every time you say I am, you are activating divine power. Be mindful of what follows those two sacred words. I am broke. I am unlucky. I am tired. These are decrees, and the law must make them real. Replace them with I am abundant. I am favored. I am divinely supplied. And watch how swiftly the outer world adjusts to mirror your inner declaration. Words are the containers of faith. When faith fills your words, they become charged with supernatural authority. That is why affirmations are not empty repetitions when spoken from belief. They are spiritual decrees. The one who speaks with conviction bends reality. Every I am, spoken with certainty, becomes a seed of creation planted in the soil of the universe. Words backed by emotion and faith are unstoppable. They must return as form. The ancient law says, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. This is not punishment, it is precision. You are living today in the harvest of yesterday's speech. The words you speak today are shaping the reality you will walk into tomorrow. The universe is sound at its core. Scientists call it vibration. Mystics call it the word. In the beginning, there was the word, the first sound that gave birth to light, life, and form. That same creative power lives in your voice. When you speak with awareness, you participate in the same divine process that created galaxies. You become a conscious co-creator with the infinite. But most people misuse this power. They gossip, complain, criticize, and curse their own lives without realizing They are programming their subconscious mind to attract more of what they don't want. Every time you say, "It's hard to make money," your subconscious records it as instruction and faithfully executes it. Every time you say, "Money comes easily and frequently," it accepts that as truth and begins rearranging conditions to make it so. The spoken word also reprograms your inner world. When you speak affirmations consistently, you are not convincing the universe, you are convincing yourself. You are re-educating your subconscious mind to align with divine truth rather than worldly appearances. You are erasing old programs of lack and fear and replacing them with the vibration of abundance. The subconscious mind cannot resist repetition. It believes whatever it hears most often. That is why it is not enough to think prosperity. You must speak it. Words carry sound, and sound penetrates deeper than thought alone. Speak your good morning and night. Speak it until you feel it. Speak it until it feels real, because once it feels real, it is real. There is also a rhythm to creation. Words spoken once are like sparks. Words spoken repeatedly with faith are like steady fire. The more you affirm your abundance with belief, the stronger your magnetic field becomes. You begin to attract opportunities, people, and circumstances that match the energy of your speech. It seems miraculous, but it is simply the law of vibration at work. Your words are waves that travel through the ether, gathering like energy and returning as form. The richer your language, the richer your life. Speak wealth, speak joy, speak ease, and you will live in their reflection. Yet, to harness the full power of the spoken word, your emotions must align. You cannot say, "I am rich," while feeling fear or doubt and expect results. The vibration of feeling is stronger than the vibration of sound. Speak with conviction, with gratitude, with joy, as if the thing you desire were already yours. The universe responds to certainty, not effort. The emotion behind your words is the electricity that activates the magnet. Without emotion, words are like empty shells. With emotion, they are divine commands. When you affirm from the heart, not the head, your words become irresistible to universal law. So speak with purpose. Let your tongue be an instrument of creation, not destruction. Let no word leave your mouth that you do not wish to see return. Bless everything you touch. Speak well of your finances, your work, your body, your relationships. Every word carries a vibration that either expands or contracts your world. Speak expansion. Speak love. Speak divine truth. When you speak from the consciousness of abundance, the universe bends to match your declaration. For in truth, the spoken word charged with faith and feeling is the voice of God through you, creating worlds yet unseen and summoning heaven's wealth into your earthly experience. Gratitude is the golden magnet that draws divine supply to you. It is not merely polite thankfulness. It is a spiritual vibration that aligns you instantly with abundance. Gratitude is not reactive, it is creative. It does not wait for the blessing to appear before giving thanks. It gives thanks first, and thereby creates the blessing. When you live in gratitude, you are signaling to the universe that you already possess everything you need, and because like attracts like, more flows to you. Gratitude transforms your consciousness from one of lack to one of plenty. It dissolves fear, it dissolves tension, and it opens the invisible gates through which divine prosperity pours. The grateful heart is magnetic, radiant, and irresistible to good. Every moment you spend in gratitude increases your spiritual wealth account. Each time you say, "Thank you," with genuine feeling, you are depositing energy into your invisible bank of abundance. Most people misunderstand gratitude. They think it is something they express after receiving. But the wise know that gratitude is the cause, not the effect. You do not say "thank you" because you received. You say "thank you" to receive. Gratitude plants the seed of manifestation. When you give thanks for what you cannot yet see, you are acting from faith, and faith is the highest form of alignment with divine law. Gratitude is faith in motion. It says, "I trust that all is well. I trust that what I have asked for is already mine. That vibration of assurance calls forth the unseen supply. Gratitude is also a remedy for spiritual blindness. When you complain, you close your eyes to the blessings around you. When you give thanks, you begin to see clearly again. The air you breathe, the bed you rest on, the water that flows freely, these are miracles unacknowledged by many. When you start noticing them, when you begin to whisper, "Thank you," for the smallest gifts, you awaken a flood of joy and expansion. Gratitude multiplies whatever it touches. Be grateful for money, even if little. Bless it, and it grows. Be grateful for work, even if imperfect. Honor it, and it improves. Be grateful for your body, your relationships, your opportunities. Your challenges each contains divine purpose and hidden increase. Gratitude is alchemy. It turns the ordinary into gold. To live in gratitude is to live in alignment with divine supply. The ungrateful mind is always empty because it focuses on what is missing. The grateful mind is always full because it recognizes the infinite. You cannot be grateful and worried at the same time. One cancels the other. Gratitude relaxes the nervous system and lifts your vibration instantly. It is the emotional equivalent of faith. It declares, "All is well now." The more you practice gratitude, the more you realize that abundance is not something to be earned, it is something to be recognized. Life is already rich. Gratitude is the key that opens your eyes to see it. When you thank life in advance, you become a co-creator with it. The person who says, "I am thankful for the prosperity that's on its way," is already in possession of it spiritually. And spiritual possession always precedes physical manifestation. Gratitude bridges the invisible and visible worlds. It tells the universe, "I am ready. I have made space for more." The universe responds by filling that space. It cannot resist the energy of gratitude because gratitude is pure acceptance. It carries no resistance, no doubt, no fear. Gratitude says yes to life, and life says yes back. True gratitude is not mechanical repetition. It is deep feeling. You cannot trick the universe with hollow words. Gratitude must be felt to be effective. That warm, expansive sensation in your chest when you give thanks sincerely, that is your frequency rising. It is the vibration that harmonizes you with everything you desire. Feel that, and you have already become rich in spirit. From that inner wealth, outer wealth must come. Gratitude shifts your energy so powerfully that it can dissolve years of struggle in moments of recognition. When you feel genuine appreciation, you are no longer fighting reality, you are flowing with it. You become one with divine rhythm, and in that rhythm, everything works for your good. When you begin your day in gratitude, you open a current of grace that flows through everything you do. Say upon waking, "Thank you for this new day. Thank you for the breath in my lungs, for the strength in my body, for the abundance that surrounds me." Say it with joy, not duty. Let gratitude be your first thought and your last. Go to sleep whispering, "Thank you for all that was and for all that is still coming." When you make gratitude your constant companion, you will find yourself walking in miracles daily. Doors open, opportunities appear, synchronicities multiply because your energy has become a match for blessings. Gratitude is not a ritual, it is a way of being that magnetizes prosperity. Even challenges contain hidden blessings. When something goes wrong, the instinct of the unawakened mind is to complain. The instinct of the awakened soul is to ask, "What gift is hidden here?" Gratitude in adversity is the highest mastery. It declares that nothing is wasted, that even apparent loss carries divine purpose. The one who can say thank you in the storm possesses the secret of peace. For gratitude does not depend on conditions, it creates them. It turns pain into wisdom, delay into preparation, lack into opportunity. Every time you choose to be grateful instead of resentful, you transmute the energy of the situation. You rise above the vibration of the problem and move into the frequency of its solution. Gratitude also harmonizes your relationship with money. Many people unconsciously repel wealth because they complain about it. They resent bills, they fear expenses, they criticize the rich and then wonder why money avoids them. Money is energy, and it gravitates toward those who appreciate it. Bless every dollar that comes and goes. When you pay a bill, say, "Thank you that I have the means to pay this. More is coming." When you receive money, no matter how small, say, "Thank you, this is proof that I am supplied." This vibration of gratitude keeps the channel open. The universe loves appreciation. It is drawn to it like a flower to sunlight. The more you thank, the more you will have to thank for. It is divine mathematics. Gratitude multiplies your blessings in direct proportion to your recognition of them. It is impossible to remain in lack when your heart is filled with thanks. The law is absolute. To him who has, more shall be given. Having begins in consciousness, in the awareness of good already present. Gratitude is the awareness of good in all things, and that awareness expands it. You cannot chase abundance, but you can attract it effortlessly through gratitude. The grateful heart is always full, and from that fullness flows endless increase. So give thanks not as a ritual, but as a way of life. Let gratitude color your thoughts, your speech, your actions. Thank life for what it has given, for what it is giving, and for what it will give. Each word of gratitude is a seed of increase planted in divine soil. Each feeling of appreciation sends out a signal of readiness for more. Live in gratitude, and you will find that abundance is not something distant. It is already here, surrounding you, waiting for your recognition. The moment you give thanks, you open the channel, and divine supply rushes in. For gratitude is the song that money, success, and miracles cannot resist. Intuition is the divine compass of prosperity, the silent voice that whispers the language of the unseen. It is not logic, nor is it intellect. It is direct knowing, the guidance of your higher self that sees beyond time and limitation. Intuition is how divine supply directs your steps toward right action, right timing, and right opportunity. When you listen to that still, small voice within, you align with the invisible intelligence that governs all wealth. It knows the fastest, most graceful path to your good. Intuition is the invisible thread that connects your consciousness with the great mind of the universe. It is divine navigation, whispering, "Go here, wait there, say this, don't do that." Those who follow it walk in ease, while those who ignore it often struggle against invisible currents. The rational mind plans, but intuition knows. It bypasses all confusion, all fear, all doubt. It speaks in flashes, in feelings, in quiet certainty. It does not argue, it simply is. You may not always understand its logic, but when you obey it, doors open as if by magic. Prosperity is not a race or a competition. It is a dance with divine timing. Intuition is the rhythm that leads that dance. It brings you into harmony with the opportunities that are meant for you. You may be guided to send an email, take a walk, meet someone, or invest in a new idea. Each impulse may seem small, yet it carries divine precision. There are no accidents in intuition. Every whisper is a thread in the divine pattern of your abundance. When you ignore your intuition, you are walking without a map. You may work hard, plan diligently, and push endlessly, yet still feel blocked. But when you follow your inner guidance, you find that the right things unfold with almost effortless grace. This is not chance. This is divine order responding to your alignment. Intuition reveals what the eyes cannot see and what the intellect cannot calculate. It knows the route to your good that no strategy could ever chart. The intuitive mind is the channel through which divine wisdom flows. The rational mind can gather data, but only intuition can interpret divine signals. When you learn to trust it, you stop chasing opportunities and start attracting them. Intuition is the language of the spirit, but most people cannot hear it because their minds are too loud. Worry, doubt, and busyness drown out the voice of guidance. To hear intuition, you must be still. You must quiet the inner noise long enough to feel that gentle nudge, that soft pull, that whisper that says, "This way." It often comes as peace in one direction and tension in another. The universe never shouts, it nudges. The inner knowing never pressures, it inspires. Intuition feels light, loving, and certain. When fear shouts, what if? Intuition calmly says, trust me. The moment you begin to honor that voice, you step into divine flow, and things start aligning in ways that defy explanation. Every great success story begins with an intuitive impulse. Behind every inspired idea, every new invention, every breakthrough, there is that same inner whisper. The intuitive mind is your direct line to divine intelligence, the same intelligence that keeps the stars in orbit and the oceans in rhythm. It is always communicating, always guiding, always offering the next step. When you say, I don't know what to do, you are simply not listening. The answer is already within. The more you practice trusting your inner voice in small things, the stronger it becomes in big things. Each time you follow it, it proves itself, and your faith in it grows. Eventually, you no longer question it. You asterisk, no asterisk, it is truth. Intuition often leads you on paths that logic cannot justify. It may guide you to leave a job, to move, to invest, to pause, all without visible reason. But if you obey, you discover that divine wisdom was arranging something perfect behind the scenes. Intuition never misleads. What looks like delay or detour is often divine redirection toward greater good. Sometimes intuition saves you from unseen danger. Other times it opens the exact door that leads to your abundance. The challenge is that intuition asks for trust before evidence. It asks you to move when you cannot see the full staircase. That is faith in motion, faith guided by the inner knowing of the spirit. The voice of intuition speaks clearly in peace, but fear scrambles its message. That is why alignment is so important. When you are calm, grateful, and trusting, your intuition becomes crystal clear. When you are anxious and doubtful, it becomes distorted. The universe communicates best through a still mind and an open heart. When you live in harmony, when you take time for silence, prayer, or meditation, you tune your inner receiver to the divine frequency. Then, answers begin to flow with ease. You no longer have to ask, what should I do? You simply know. Guidance arrives like gentle waves, carrying you exactly where you are meant to go. Intuition is also your protection. It warns you when something or someone is not right. It nudges you away from deals, people, or paths that look tempting but are not aligned. It senses energy far beyond appearances. When you honor those nudges, you save yourself years of struggle and disappointment. When you ignore them, you learn through pain instead of grace. Intuition always gives you the easy way first. If you refuse to listen, life may have to speak louder through circumstance. So train yourself to listen early, the whisper before it becomes a storm. The divine always guides, but it never forces. It respects your free will. You must choose to listen. When it comes to money, intuition is the most powerful advisor you will ever have. It knows when to spend, when to save, when to give, when to invest. It knows where your next opportunity lies. It may guide you to a conversation, a book, a sudden inspiration that changes everything. You can have all the financial education in the world, but without intuition, you will miss divine timing. The world teaches strategy. The spirit teaches rhythm. Wealth flows to those who act in harmony with the divine rhythm of their intuition. When you move by divine prompting, you are never too early and never too late. You are perfectly on time with the universe. So begin to listen to the silence between your thoughts, to the feeling in your heart that knows before your mind can explain. Follow peace. It is the voice of spirit. When something feels forced, wait. When something feels light and inspired, move. Trust that your inner guidance is divine intelligence personalized for you. It is not separate from the universe. It is the universe speaking through you. When you walk by intuition, you walk in grace. Every decision becomes guided. Every step becomes blessed. Every delay becomes divine protection. The path to abundance is not through struggle, but through listening. And when you trust your intuition, you will find that the universe was never silent. It was only waiting for you to hear. Generosity is the secret currency that unlocks endless abundance. It is not merely giving from what you have, it is giving from the awareness that all you need is already supplied. The act of giving sets a spiritual law in motion. The universe mirrors the energy you send out. When you give freely, joyfully, and without expectation, you align yourself with the flow of divine abundance. Money, opportunities, and blessings are drawn to the open hand. Generosity is not about the amount, it is about the spirit in which you give. A small act done with true intent can move mountains. The universe measures the heart behind the gift, not the number attached to it. Many people hoard, thinking that clinging to resources will keep them safe. But the truth is, the energy of scarcity repels more than it attracts. Holding tightly to what you have sends out a vibration of lack. The universe responds by restricting the flow. Generosity, on the other hand, broadcasts abundance. Every act of giving, whether money, time, love, or kindness, creates an energetic ripple. That ripple returns to you multiplied, in ways you cannot predict. When you become a conduit rather than a container, the invisible law responds to your open-heartedness. You begin to discover that giving does not diminish, it multiplies. Generosity is also a measure of your inner faith in divine supply. When you give, you are declaring, "I trust that my needs will always be met." You are affirming that life is abundant and that the universe will provide. This vibration of trust opens channels that were previously blocked by fear and worry. Many fear giving because they believe it reduces what is theirs. But giving from faith signals that you are aligned with infinite supply, and the universe cannot resist that signal. The more you trust in abundance, the more freely you give, and the more the universe replenishes you in ways both expected and miraculous. Generosity is intimately connected to gratitude. To give is to acknowledge that what you have is enough to share. When you bless others with your resources, you honor the fact that you are already supplied. Every gift becomes a statement of faith and appreciation. It affirms that the current of abundance is flowing through your life and that there is more to come. Gratitude and generosity together form a magnetic field that attracts even greater blessings. The universe loves a heart that recognizes its own supply and shares it generously with the world. True generosity is selfless. It is not done to gain recognition, praise, or return. It flows naturally, like a river obeying the law of gravity. When you give without attachment to outcome, you are in harmony with divine law. You are no longer calculating, fearing, or withholding. You are simply participating in the rhythm of life. The energy of such generosity is irresistible. Doors, ideas, opportunities, and people begin to appear as if by magic, drawn to your frequency. The law of supply always matches the law of giving. When you give with a pure heart, you cannot help but receive. Generosity also cultivates a mindset of abundance. It teaches you that there is more than enough for everyone, that giving does not create scarcity. When you see the world as limitless, you naturally act from a place of expansion. You share knowledge, resources, love, and energy without fear. That mindset shifts your entire experience of life. You stop competing with others and start collaborating with the universe. Prosperity is no longer a zero-sum game. It becomes a dance of mutual enrichment, where giving and receiving are two sides of the same divine current. Even small acts of generosity create powerful energetic shifts. A kind word, a helping hand, a monetary gift, or even time given to someone in need sets a vibration into motion that reaches far beyond what you can see. The law of circulation ensures that what you send out returns to you, often in unexpected ways. Many fail to see the immediate effect of their giving, but the universe always multiplies the energy of generosity. What you sow in kindness and abundance today will bear fruit in opportunities, relationships, and prosperity tomorrow. Generosity also heals the inner landscape. Hoarding and fear keep the mind contracted. Giving expands the heart and frees the spirit. It dissolves anxiety, builds confidence, and strengthens faith. When you release what you think you need to cling to, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. Generosity clears blockages in your energy, allowing wealth, joy, and abundance to flow unhindered. You cannot receive fully until you are willing to give freely. In this sense, generosity is not just a principle of outward action. It is a spiritual practice that aligns your soul with the rhythm of abundance. Your relationship with money is transformed through generosity. By giving, you demonstrate trust not just in life, but in yourself. You affirm that you are worthy of receiving and capable of sharing. This vibration multiplies wealth, drawing money, opportunities, and blessings toward you. Money flows where the heart is open, and generosity opens the heart. Even in scarcity, the act of giving shifts energy from fear to faith, from contraction to expansion. The universe responds to the frequency of your heart, not the size of your bank account. In essence, generosity is the law of circulation made visible. It is the secret code by which the universe distributes its infinite supply. Give freely, give with love, give with trust, and the law will respond. The more you give, the more you align with the invisible stream of abundance that never runs dry. The act of giving is both a declaration of faith and a practical magnet for prosperity. When you understand and embody this principle, you will realize that wealth is not just an accumulation of resources. It is the energy of giving and receiving flowing harmoniously through your life, creating miracles at every turn. Patience is the quiet force that turns desire into reality. It is the calm assurance that the universe is always working behind the scenes, even when appearances suggest delay or lack. Patience is not passivity, it is active trust in divine timing. Those who rush, force, or manipulate often encounter frustration because they attempt to bend the law of life to their impatience. But those who wait with faith, who persist in alignment while letting the universe orchestrate the details, find that everything unfolds with perfect precision. Patience is the discipline that allows your words, faith, gratitude, generosity, and intuition to fully manifest. The challenge with patience is that it tests your belief. When results are not immediate, doubts rise. Why is it taking so long? Am I doing something wrong? These questions stem from fear and separation, not trust. Patience requires remembering that the invisible realm always precedes the visible. The seed planted beneath the soil is alive, yet the sprout does not appear instantly. So it is with your intentions. Every declaration, every affirmation, every act of faith and generosity is like planting a seed. Patience is the understanding that growth requires time and that the unseen work of the universe is always in motion. We